Hey everyone, welcome back to Hazardous Opinions. Today we have a full episode for you guys to begin December and get in the holiday mood. Before we get to that, a few programming reminders. Next episode will be 10 underrated holiday movies. A big way you guys can help us is by following us and giving us 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts. Also, reach out to us with anything movies at hazardousopinionspod@gmail.com or on socials like TikTok and Instagram at Hazardous Opinions Pod, and chat with us on Discord. We really appreciate all of you and your support. Now we'll be diving deep into Knives Out from 2019. This was written and directed by Rian Johnson. He also worked on the sequel to this, Glass Onion, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Looper, and Brick, where he really came onto the scene. It's supposed to be a neo-noir movie featuring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I need to see it still. And he also did The Brothers Bloom, which I haven't seen either. The cinematographer for this was Steve Yedlin, best known for collaborating with Rian Johnson on all of his films, and he seems to match the tone of Johnson's movies really well with the color palette that he uses. And Knives Out is bursting with fall, and you feel implanted in the northeast part of the country. It's a cozy feeling, and Glass Onion was so warm and tropical. And Last Jedi was beautiful to look at. The plot of Knives Out: when renowned crime novelist Harlan Thrombey is found dead at his estate just after his 85th birthday, the inquisitive and debonair Detective Benoit Blanc is mysteriously enlisted to investigate. From Harlan's dysfunctional family to his devoted staff, Blanc sifts through a web of red herrings and self-serving lies to uncover the truth behind Harlan's untimely death. The Letterboxd rating for Knives Out is 4 out of 5 stars. Ashlee, do you have the IMDb?
Yes, the IMDb rating is 7.9 out of 10.
Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, seems close to the 4 out of 5 that Letterboxd is kind of showing there. Ashlee, I wanted to ask, what's your history with Knives Out? When's the first time you watched it?
So I'm pretty sure I just watched it when it first came out on Netflix. I wasn't able to make it to it when it was in theaters. But I remember when I watched it, it was so unlike another movie I've seen, especially in like a long time,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love a good whodunit, but it was like so well done and had like just an all-star cast.
Oh yeah. Stacked.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just a lot different than any of the movies that were coming out in like a long time that I have seen. So what did you think of it when you first saw it?
One of my favorite storytelling subgenres is whodunit murder mysteries with Agatha Christie flair. Rian Johnson managed to make Knives Out an instant classic because it's so well crafted. It fills this void of that subgenre in movies as of late for me. I'm more of a movie person, obviously, and I don't read. So I feel like I don't get my fill of these usually. Johnson managed to also take like so many moving parts and talent and use them to his full advantage without like missing a step, I feel. Like you said, the stacked cast, right? What I love about Knives Out is that it takes the classic template of murder mysteries and it flips it on its head. I feel with adding more twists and turns that are warranted and really changes the stakes and relationships between characters. Just as Blanc says, a twisted web. And I love untangling it every time I rewatch this. On top of the mystery, you have the unreal family drama and comedy, which adds to it being special. Our main character, Marta, is involved with the crime in a unique way. Rian Johnson tells a phenomenal story in this. It's why it sticks out to me, and it's still one of my favorites to this day. And I suppose like we could give our personal ratings now that we said what we feel about the movie, personally. So, I'm going to do it. This is my first 5 out of 5
Whoa.
Star movie. It's one of my favorites. It is. It's whenever I think of movies, I think Knives Out kind of floats around my head. It's nuts. I don't know. It's just instant classic for me.
It is very you coded.
Very me coded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
how do you feel? Why is that?
Well, hearing you say what you thought about it really made me wish that I wrote what I thought of it instead of being put on the spot. But I should have did that before.
Ashlee, I'm sorry. Hey, you know this about me. When I get anxious and put on the spot, like I put on you. God damn, I'm the villain. Am I Chris Evans in this?
Spoiler.
Hey, spoiler talk. This movie has been out since 2019. If you need spoiler,
True.
But yeah, I had to write it all down. Like it's so important, and I didn't want to mess up my feelings. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Also,
it's such a stupid thing, but you need to put it into words somehow, and I tried to there. I don't think I fully got it.
I thought you captured that really well. I think you worded that really well.
Thank you.
But I do know you love a good whodunit. Obviously, Scream's like one of your favorite movies of all time. So.
Oh, you know it. Yeah. Well, and hey, Scream is also you love whodunits, so I figured this would be a really good like both of us in the same vein type of movie. What's your rating?
I'm gonna do 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb rating.
8.6 out of 10.
Yep, and a 4.5.
Ooh, on Letterboxd.
Yes,
that's good. Okay, you better log that shit.
I know, I will.
Yeah. Everyone, Andy, Eric, and I all lit up when we saw Ashlee's log of rewatching Bullet Train and putting a 5-star on that bitch. Like it was beautiful to see. We were very proud. We were like proud parents, honestly. She needs to get in a Letterboxd. Tell her Letterboxd is superior to IMDb, and just go on with that.
I'll get to it.
You better.
I will. And I've been saying that.
So, let's meet our characters. We have Ana de Armas as Marta,
who was made famous because of Eli Roth, even though Hunter's in denial about that. But anyways.
I believe it, but she also was acting before that.
In Chile.
Yes, and she is from Cuba.
Oh my god, am I the Thrombey family making her sound like she's from a different country every time someone talks about her?
Yeah. Look at you. We can cut that. Did you actually mean Chile?
That's where Eli found her when he went to Chile. That's not where he got her, though.
Okay, but she was in Chile. Okay, no, I'm seriously like asking you.
Yeah, he was in Chile and found her and brought her over to the U.S. to do Knock Knock.
I love how you brought the Thrombey thing up. that good. I love that. Ashlee, I believe you. All right, like just because of what I think of Eli Roth, some of his movies and his work. That's why. But
well, at least you're thinking of him
constantly.
Same.
We also have Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc, Chris Evans as Ransom, Jamie Lee Curtis as Linda, Michael Shannon as Walt, Don Johnson as Richard, Toni Collette as Joni, Lakeith Stanfield as Lieutenant Elliot, Christopher Plummer as Harlan Thrombey, and so much more. What a stacked freaking cast.
I love that Lakeith is in here.
Oh my god. I love that you loved Lakeith as well. Oh, thank God. Okay. I actually didn't. We have never talked about him, I don't think.
No, I love him from like Atlanta, mostly.
Oh my
I
God.
know he's in a lot of stuff.
Okay, Atlanta. First time I saw him was actually Death Note that Adam Wingard made, and he was the investigator.
I've never seen Death Note.
Sorry, he had a letter as a name, like Q.
Oh, he's on Uncut Gems. Sorry to bother you.
Knew that.
L.
Okay, it is L.
How did I know that?
What the fuck? Okay.
Anyways.
Okay, so now that we got like the names kind of out there, we will play around with this a little bit, guys. Like the character section of the pod. Ashlee brought it up, and it's a really good like. Let's meet our characters first. We're still learning, so thank you for being patient. We'll figure and tighten it up a little more. Let's get into the story. We open with this gorgeous shot of the Thrombey estate during a foggy morning with the doggos running. Loving the fall embrace this movie gives already.
I really do love the opening scene though. It's just like, it's honestly, there's a lot of good shots in the scene, but just the slow motion dogs running in the fog is like was so cool, and like instantly just like,
I know.
What do you want to watch?
Kind of just the looming shot of the mansion already.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of getting us set up for what's about to happen. We're following a housekeeper in the morning. Routine, it seems. The housekeeper stumbles on Harlan dead in his study instead of in his bed waking up. This intro gets right to the point. And right before the title card, comedy is already leaking through. And it's an unusual but awesome cut while the housekeeper is being stunned and dropping all of her shit. Just kind of fumbling with everything that she's got in her arms. Cut to 1 week after Harlan's death, and we are then blessed with the most angelic, radiant actress being on screen. My woman, Ana de Armas. My wife is going to get really upset at me for that intro. It's a pretty quiet setting with Marta's family right before us as an audience, and any characters that is not a Thrombey.
The show that her sister is watching, talking about the guy with getting his throat slit, was voiced by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That was his voice.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because he's in a lot of Rian Johnson movies.
Yeah, he was in Looper.
Brick.
Brick.
He's the main character in Brick.
Right. And Rian Johnson also had him pop up as a cameo in The Last Jedi.
You know how I feel about Star Wars. Too.
Well, yeah, okay, get out of here, non-nerd. Rewatching, maybe even on a first watch, I did really get the sense Marta is different from all the other characters in this movie. Even her immediate family. She's so different from already. Like her sister watching that show, like you mentioned, and her mom yelling at the sister. And Marta's just sitting there, not saying anything like, oh, it's okay. Or like yelling at them back. Or like she just stays complacent and quiet there.
And then she gets a call. Who calls it? Walt?
Yeah.
And then she gets a call from Walt, Harlan's son, obviously, to go to the house because the police had more questions. And then that's when we're introduced to Lakeith. And who's the other guy?
Actually, this, I forgot his detective's name.
Elliot?
No, that's Lakeith. Detective Trooper Wagner. There we go. That actor, I didn't write down his name, but he's also in Looper, another one of Rian Johnson's movies that I absolutely love. Amazing, like original story featuring futuristic and hitman plot devices. It's amazing. So after getting the call from Walt, Marta, you immediately get the sense she's the most hurt by Harlan's death out of all the family members, even like the ones closest to him. Every moment in this movie doesn't feel wasted. I really appreciate the pacing, especially when each family member is questioned. The way Rian Johnson used the interviewing to tell the story of what happened, that night was so clear and well done. I can track everything that is happening, and also the changes and the little lies to the story that each individual is telling is really clear as well, and it adds to the comedy mystery of it all, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And I really like that too, because sometimes when there's a lot going on in a storyline, it can get confusing.
Yep.
And you forget a lot of stuff, but is really clear, which someone like me, sometimes I can struggle with that. But this one was like very, very easy to follow.
Exactly, like the overlapping of them telling the stories, and you can also pick out those discrepancies once they show you what actually took place.
Yeah.
It was really fun how Rian Johnson shot those scenes from different perspectives too. Like it just, you could see how that person is seeing it play out. And you're like, all right, take another look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As we meet the characters, each individual performer, the dialogue, the action to follow, each one seems their own person. You have these little things that Johnson puts in, like Richard asking Marta, "So, how you doing, kiddo?" while staring at his phone, and he doesn't give a single shit. As the interviews go on, you also really get into the motivations of characters, and the whole family unravels like a map of their own undoing. Richard, the fucking blabbermouth, so bad at it. And Linda, just the way she kind of bounces around saying what she wants to say exactly, but also she is quick to the point when she wants to be too.
I just feel like that's Jamie Lee in most things.
Honestly, she just kills it like that. Yeah, I feel like this role was really good for her to show off like a little more.
I really liked Joni.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah. And
Toni Collette.
Yeah. I like how her name's Joni and Tony's Toni in real life.
Yeah, that's actually, hey, good catch there.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that either. Yeah.
I related to her most right away just based on the interview because she has a skincare company and she was kind of ditzy.
Hey. Welcome to Ashlee's world. No, I get you. Like, and she is also, she's an in-law, so she's outside of the family. So, definitely not totally ingrained in this sense of depravity and just all these horrible people. But also, she is a byproduct of it. You come to find out as well. Like, she just kind of feel like she's a leech.
Definitely.
Yeah, like the others are vultures, but she's a leech on one of the vultures.
And then we meet Walt as well, Michael Shannon.
Yes. Oh, what do you think of Michael Shannon?
I love Michael Shannon. He's one of my faves.
Yeah, have you seen him in like other things like?
One of our faves, Nocturnal Animals.
I was about to mention that one. That is one of my favorite roles from him.
And he's in one of my fave movies, The White Death in Bullet Train.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. He was a surprising addition to that movie, actually.
I know, right?
I feel. Yeah. It was awesome to see him show up.
Not a spoiler, but... Oh, and Premium Rush, also with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Haven't seen Premium Rush.
Oh, you'd love that one.
Okay.
One.
I should add that one, though.
Yeah. But no, I really love Michael Shannon a lot.
Awesome. Yeah. Nocturnal Animals, I was going to mention. Also, The Shape of Water, he was very good in. And also Man of Steel. He plays a very good, intimidating villain all the time. And I really liked how he was such a weak man in this movie. It was really nice. Even though when he confronts Marta later on, and I do have it in my notes, like I kind of just wanted to touch on it here. He seems very weak, but wow, Michael Shannon is very good at seeming intimidating, and he was very intimidating to her. The whole family is so surface level, basically has lost all humanity really because of nature or nurture. The shit talking and learning about how everyone is connected, and even though it's not a crazy party, it's so engaging, and picking up these breadcrumbs laid out is just also adding to the engagement. Blanc being in the background, looming over everyone, and hitting the piano key was a really nice touch before actually introducing the character.
I read that he was hitting the piano key each time he wanted to signal to the detectives to ask whatever family member they were talking to, where they were at the time of Harlan's death.
Ooh. Okay.
Like
Okay,
that was a
that
signal?
would make a lot of sense. Yeah. I thought it was a signal, kind of just get on with it or something like that. But I like that. I like that a lot. The reactions the suspects have to Blanc are a nice finish on the lead up to. So who the fuck is that? Richard's lines get me quite a bit. Whatever Richard says, he's just very... How he translates everything. It's so easy. Like he's an open book almost, except with his little thing that he's hiding. Big thing. But, yeah.
He's like the conservative family member that argues you at dinner, it seems like.
Yep. Yeah.
Like he's too open.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not saying you can't be open, but I mean, he is.
He is.
Like you said earlier, he's a loudmouth and he just does not hold anything back ever.
No. Oh, my God. As you get into it, like what he says at the party when he has a couple drinks in him.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like it's just, he is too outspoken. There we go. The dialogue, including Blanc's other escapades, introduce him as a character really well. That like the family members are kind of saying, "Oh, like I read about you in that article."
Or I read that tweet.
Yep. That like Joni says, and to top it all off, we get one of the most unique detectives in cinema history with him simply just speaking in that Cajun accent. Holy fuck. Already in love, and for the tone of this murder mystery and what Ryan Johnson is going for, it's a match made in heaven, I feel. It's a very fun, more light murder mystery compared to most, and you have such a fascinating detective.
In my notes here, I have instantly he's so suave and a bad bitch.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He really is.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Honestly, one of the reasons why I want to go down to Louisiana is just hear some of those Cajuns speak, honestly. But it is one of, like, my most wanted to visit places. Dang it. Yeah. I love that he's British, but he does this Cajun accent so well. Daniel Craig, this role shows off his range so well. And I mean, kind of since we're on the point of Daniel Craig, I did have a question for you. What do you think of his performance in this whole movie? Even though we haven't gotten through the story, I just wanted to ask you. I was gonna ask you halfway through.
I know you gave me the James Bond movies while ago to watch, and I did not watch them. I watched the first two.
Shame on you.
I know, sorry. But it was really nice to see him in not an action role, and you can really see him acting, not like his normal roles that he has. And I really loved his performance a lot, and I just loved every single time he was on the screen. It was just fun.
It was.
I do love him in Layer Cake, though, which is what got him the James Bond role. But anyways.
Ooh, do need to watch that, actually, still. Okay. And I need to watch Logan Lucky, too. I feel like he flaunts his acting chops in that one, too, is what I hear.
But he just is fun to watch. And I wish he was in more regular movies. Hopefully he is now. He's going to be in Knives Out 3, obviously, but...
Yes. He's going to be in Queer, actually. He's playing a gay man.
I haven't heard of that one, but I'm instantly intrigued.
Yeah, it's with the actor that plays Wraith on Outer Banks, and the actor's also in Hellraiser. Can't remember his name, but I'm actually really excited for Queer.
Yeah, same. I didn't know that was a thing, but I am excited.
Yeah. Can you guys tell how much Ashlee values my opinion when she said she didn't even watch most of the Bond movies when I gave them to her.
Or Mission Impossible.
Or Mission...
You know how I feel about Tom Cruise? I can't.
Guys, it's really tough. It's really tough having a co-host like this. Somebody want to fill in? Anyone? Anyone that likes Tom Cruise? One of the best.
You guys can do your own episode on Mission Impossible.
Hell yeah! Oh man, I will go through Fallout so hard. Honestly, I will.
Oh, you want to talk about Fallout this series? I can do that.
Still need to see that actually, and people should get on me for that. I know, no, it is on my list, guys. That is a series I will be watching. Already, you get to know how Benoit Blanc investigates. Seems to have his wits about him. He knows how to poke the family members, and he gets them to let out more about each other and turn on each other like they were never, ever banded together in the first place. Lieutenant Elliot and Walt then bring up the obvious, and we learn the crime is not completely solved and could be either murder or suicide. The plot then thickens.
It seems like when he's interviewing the family, though, none of them have a real good reason to kill Harlan at first. So
yeah, there's kind of those
because they all benefit something from him, so they wouldn't want him dead. At first glance, like I said.
At first glance, yeah, and then you kind of get to see, okay, like the finances kind of do play into it, like the will and whatever when we get there. And also they have very generic, I would say, motives, but I'm not faulting those motives in the story. It's like you get Richard, you have the cheating, you have Joni being broke and being cut off.
Walt, he wants to take the publishing away from Walt.
Yep, Walt being fired from his position. Just so many basic motives that are coming up, and it's really piling up, and then you're like, oh my God, all right, it could maybe be any one of these guys, right? Everyone is so defensive, but honestly, I could see all of them as callous murderers, just not good ones, at least. We find out Walt gets let go by Harlan as the head of the publishing house, like we said. Basically fires his ass. My mind's made up, is what Harlan says. The discrepancies in the family statements to the police are already quickly highlighted and fun to really pick out with Walt lying about being let go, by Harlan and Richard lying about Harlan confronting him about the cheating. Two big motivations that are carried throughout this film, by the way. And each family member has motive for murder, which are tangible. And like I said, I enjoy. It really throws you for a couple loops, unlike other films. Like quite a bit of these red herrings piling up instead of like one here, one there. You know, it's really hard to decipher throughout all of these. Basically, all of these family members are horrible people, and they can definitely lead you astray, especially after we find out Joni was cut off. All of them really came up with lies quickly, and I really can't believe any one of them at least partly told a little truth.
And we find out Joni has been double dipping and has taken $101,000 a year from Harlan.
Fucking big amount.
Yeah, seriously. For her... Hold on, ignore. Oh, I read a fun fact about Joni that's not in the movie.
Yeah, what's up?
That her skincare company, she got canceled.
Phlegm, right? For
Flam.
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 It's flam.
Yeah. I guess she got canceled, and she mentions in the movie deleting her Twitter account. And it's not in the movie, but she deleted her account because she made so many people so mad that her old fans and clientele were just like tearing her apart on Twitter and like trying to cancel her, so she just deactivated her Twitter.
No way.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even talk about her daughter Meg, who's Hannah Baker from 13 Reasons Why.
Yes. Yeah.
And Harlan was paying for her schooling.
Yes, and she was majoring in...
Has your SAW scholarship. What did Ransom say? Roasting her in some way. I didn't know what that meant, though.
Yeah, gosh. I can't remember what she was majoring in, but yeah, Ransom touches on it, and I think Jacob Tremblay's... Wait, not...
Not Jacob.
Fuck. It's a kid from It that played Bill.
His name's Jacob, though, in the movie.
I think is actually Defending Jacob. Oh, that's the series with Chris
Oh
Evans.
my God.
Damn it.
Jaden Martell.
Yeah, and Jaden Martell's character touches on... I can't remember. Shoot.
Meh.
We'll leave it.
Yeah.
Richard being adamant about covering up Harlan's letter is suspicious. It keeps the mystery going. When he rushes to that office, like right after the questioning, tries to find the letter, tosses the baseball out the window. We'll get back to that.
Yes, I have that in my
And
notes,
I
too.
love that. I love it. God. Ryan Johnson. What a genius. Marta finally re-enters the story by being questioned, and it's an awesome character quirk with her throwing up if she lies.
How did you feel about that aspect of it?
I actually really enjoyed it. It's a physical reaction. It's not like a little tick or anything like, oh, I just saw you blink twice or say, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's more...
I don't think that's a real thing, though, that exists in real life.
Maybe it's not a real thing. But yeah,
it does add a lot to the story, though.
In a murder mystery that is unique and fun and goofy like this one, and has just tinges of dark, I'd say like that's okay for a character quirk. I like it because it does come into the story.
I like it too. I was just seeing what you thought of that.
No, I wasn't trying to defend it at all. It was just, yeah, like, I haven't seen anybody really badmouth that part of it, and I hope nobody does, because just, I don't know, this murder mystery doesn't feel totally based in real life. Like, it's escapism, just like a lot of movies. And like I said, this character quirk, it's used as a device throughout the story pretty well. It actually comes up in vital moments. You can tell Benoit Blanc is very perceptive with people. He's actually very competent. Not a fraud when he straight up asks Marta about Richard's affair. The difference with this murder mystery compared to others, I feel, is all the motives being combed through with the family members. Then Blanc reveals he doesn't know who hired him for the case, like you said. Then also, Blanc noticed there isn't something right with this case, and there's something missing. The piece that our main character, Marta, is holding the whole time. The totally unsuspected person in the story, and something is still not right about that. Makes no damn sense. Because compels me, though. Oh my God. I got a lot of phlegm when I was...
It's phlegm.
I'll do that better. Makes no damn sense. Compels me, though. Daniel Craig he serves so many great lines throughout this movie. He only elevates them with his performance. The stairs part of the night is added as well as the loud thud. Things become a little more peculiar with this. Joni wakes up. Linda wakes up. Then Walt sees Marta leave, which is crucial. Walt sees Harlan come down the stairs.
Also crucial.
Also crucial. Honestly, looking back, Elliot investigated professionally and well. The reveals of the story, they show us how tough of a case it actually was. What would you think going into this? Have you seen a lot of complicated crime mysteries like this?
Yes, I have. And I think we mentioned this on the pod before, maybe not. But you know that when I watch mysteries and I watch like whodunits and stuff like that,
You
or
try not to
anything,
think ahead.
I don't. And I'm usually wrong, so I just don't even bother. I just like watch it play out just from like I just don't try to figure anything. I just watch it for what it is. And I'm usually always surprised. Like no like I'm easily surprised because I can't pick up on I know there's lots of foreshadowing. And I mean on like a second, third watch, obviously you can pick up the foreshadowing, but like I'm just not good at picking up foreshadowing. Ryan really is. He'll see like one little thing, like that's him. I'm like, God.
I know. Oh man. I mean, it's same with my wife now. Like she tries, and even if I haven't seen the movie, I'll have her asking me questions. I'll look at her like seriously, like, no, I haven't seen this. How am I supposed? Like, I'm like you. I don't try and think too far ahead. I kind of just like live in the moment of the movie.
Yeah. And with
Yep.
Ryan, he'll like say something or ask me something. I'm like, you probably just fucking spoiled it for me. I'm like, I didn't even think about that, but
Maybe.
no.
Yeah.
And he usually, yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, I get
But
you.
yeah, no matter how many mysteries or mass slasher movies I see, like, I just don't pick up on who it could be. I just watch.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love it. Blanc and the two detectives again find Marta at the end of their discussions. They interview Marta another time, and we get the reveal of what took place. But not even fully, which I love to death, because there's still that juice there carrying us through the plot until the end. Like, what all took place.
I love when they do the flashbacks of Harlan and Marta, because they're so sweet together, and Harlan is just like such a completely different person with Marta. He's like funny and goofy, and
I know.
them together is just like so adorable. And whenever it plays out, what happens, it's like a really heartbreaking scene.
I know. Like Christopher Plummer and Ana de Armas, they act the hell out of this quiet scene between a caretaker and the person she's taking care of.
And it's really genuine. Like, it seems like they've known each other for so long.
Playing a nightly game of Go. Yeah, I know. We get their banter and their whole relationship just in this, like you said. The realization of how much Harlan meant to Marta and also Marta to Harlan is super prevalent. They're so close, and it's so sweet. It reminds me of my relationship with my grandparents. As of late, now that I'm getting even older and maybe wiser, probably not wiser. Thanks for the little shaking. Yeah, okay. Ashley told me not. No. But yeah, it's just really nice. Like her being an adult, and having her family. I'm sure she doesn't talk to her family about these things. And you have Harlan, that's such a renowned murder mystery writer that's probably been all over the world, has had all these life experiences, and Marta gets to learn from him. Like that's amazing. And a person like that has been around everything and knows how a lot of people are. It's very interesting that he let his family get to the point they did, and like him, like I said, the nature versus nurture. It was a lot of nurture on Harlan's part. It was his doing, right? I mean, partly, and the children, they go on to be the people they want to be ultimately. They're people that make their own choices. But yeah, it was a lot of the bringing up in that environment, right? And it's so surprising since Harlan's such an awesome, accomplished person to Marta, and just with his family. There's just that disconnect. It sucks. An important part about this interaction is that Harlan self-reflects, like I said, his doing in the creation of these horrible family members, babied basically all of them. That highlights how great of a guy he is because he cares, but it's unfortunate. That's kind of how I wanted to sum it up. And so it's so heavy that he telegraphs this stuff to another human the night he dies, you know?
And he's so like calm, thinking that he wasn't going to die, thinking she had the whatever drug that would have stopped the morphine overdose. Mm-hmm. And then the realization that she doesn't have it in her bag. Oh. It was so hard to watch.
If I was Marta taking care of an 85-year-old man, I would love it to be a respectful and wise man like Harlan. Like I said, they're basically like best friends. Harlan is like my grandpa. He's also badass like him.
My grandpa also. I just had lunch with him the other day.
Yep.
Just me and him, and it was so nice.
It's so like pure and wonderful.
Yeah.
Just watching this play out on screen. So now that you're getting to the mix-up of the meds, we need to go through that. I'll group in the part when she also sees Harlan kill himself with a knife with this.
Yeah.
We can just talk about all of that.
Okay.
This whole sequence, it feels rushed through, but in a good way. There's urgency. There's panic. So interesting how Harlan is going through some ideas for a new novel with this situation, and then he fully focuses on what's going on. We then realize Harlan totally focuses on Marta and her well-being while he thinks he's dying. Just so unfortunate, and adds to the heart of this film. So, in this moment, after describing those things, we find out that Marta believes that she injected Harlan with a lethal dose of morphine instead of his regular pain meds. In doing that, she then tries to scramble and find the
morphine antidote?
The dose of medicine that is a morphine antidote. Yes. Yep. She can't find it in the bag. And it's so defeating. It's so interesting to me how Harlan walks through Marta's actions with her to protect herself. I love it, and it's so tangible in the story because Harlan is like Agatha Christie. He has all these things in his head. It's awesome hearing from this like storytelling mind and it being brought into this plot, helping Marta cover up. Like it's so interesting. You don't really see that, you know. He's just like, hey, it's okay. Like, I'm just gonna help you, even though I'm gonna die. Like, it's just nuts. But it doesn't. It make sense.
Yeah,
I feel like it does.
It was just kind of hard too because, like you said, Harlan reminds you of your grandpa, you know, and he reminded me of mine too, and it was just so sad because he would do that for me too.
Mine would too.
You know, so...
And that's exactly why it feels real to me. Yeah. I will not...
That's why it's so sad to see.
That's why... Yeah, it's crushing and adds to the heart of this film in a good way, even though it's a tragic thing. Anna. What a performance. All the way through. Devastating. Especially watching their friendship throughout. What did you think of Ana de Armas's performance, like in a leading role, especially like in a part like this, where it's very highlighted?
I think it's the role that really put her on the map for sure, and she did a lot of crying in the movie, which is really hard to do on the spot.
It is, isn't it? Yep. Yeah. No, I will bring up the point because my wife is one of those people that bad mouths Anna sometimes, so I will bring it up.
She did a really good job though in this, and she was really fun to watch.
She did.
I don't know who carried. Obviously, she's carried the movie, but I think Benoit also.
Oh, Daniel Craig for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what is amazing to me is that Daniel Craig and Chris Evans have both worked with Anna in multiple projects. Daniel Craig brought Anna to No Time to Die because of this movie, because he enjoyed working with her. And Chris Evans, he's worked with her on Ghosted, which wasn't an amazing movie, but it was a good rom-com to me with them, probably because of them. And then also Gray Man, which it also is an amazing movie. I hope she picks better projects, because also I feel like a lot of people got off on the wrong foot with her when they tuned into Blonde. Blonde is a very complicated, not good movie. Performance-wise from Anna, though, very good. And I don't know why we are critiquing the performer and not the writer, director of it all, honestly.
That makes me anxious to see Ballerina coming out next summer.
I can't wait.
Well, did you hear that I can't remember who's directing it, but it did so terribly in test screenings that Chad Seletsky had to come on and help him direct it and rewrite and reshoot a bunch of the movie. And that's why it got pushed back so far when it was supposed to come out this year.
Not Anna's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's not her
exactly.
doing.
Yeah, no, it see, that's the thing. It sucks. She is such a good performer. I've been really angry with people saying that she's just another beautiful face.
How come Nell hates her?
Sometimes I feel like Nell does refer to her as that. And I Anna's not the love of my life. Nell is. The scenes of the family discussions during Harlan's birthday are hilarious to me, because it shows how rich people can be so sheltered, as well as other people, when it comes to politics and social issues as well. Just the topics they're talking about, they seem so far removed from that stuff. Like, oh, you definitely know what you're talking about. You kind of think, oh man, that's probably how a lot of conversations go between powerful people, unfortunately. Yeah. The details in the story, the deets in a whodunit, I feel are so crucial, and Johnson takes great care with them. Ransom, are you back already? And the Hallmark movie that Fran talks about, plenty of details, but they were distributed so well. One detail comedy bit that I enjoyed was everyone saying the wrong country that Marta's from. Here we go back. And also the manner of how Richard actually asked Marta to come over and talk to them at the birthday party, instead of nicely asking her to join them and have a regular conversation. No, he had to put her on the spot about where she's from and about immigrants coming into the country and working. It's just so uncomfortable.
And then he hands her his empty plate.
Yes, like she's a fucking servant. No, guess what? She's Harlan's caretaker. That's her only job, dude.
One thing about that is, I mentioned earlier that this movie released on Thanksgiving Day in 2019.
Right.
And then in that scene, I knew that before going to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that scene of them having that conversation, it was kind of like problematic family members getting together on Thanksgiving.
It really is.
And
that's like, I definitely picked this movie because it feels like around the holidays.
Exactly.
It's up in that northeast region of the U.S. and it's very chilly and cold and the leaves are falling. Like we said, the foggy morning and stuff like that, in the cozy clothes. And like, I really felt in my element when I was rewatching this, because I had my fireplace on. I had the heat on it. I had the hue lights going. I had the Christmas tree going. It just wrapped up in blankets. I was cozy as shit.
That sounds really cozy.
Oh man. That's the way to watch this movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's a very cozy movie. I feel like it was a really good watch at the time of this year.
Another thing that added to the coziness for me was just like the set design.
Yes.
And like they paid such close attention to all the details and like all the weird figures and statues, and like it wasn't cluttery, it was just busy, which makes you feel...
It was busy and cluttery, but didn't everything seem to go together somehow?
Yeah. So they did
Whoever worked on the set design.
Yes. Did a
A
great job.
plus.
Yep.
A plus. Yeah, I agree. The production design,
Okay, so before we go on, I kind of wanted to go over Harlan's plan to get Marta out of the predicament that they're in. Harlan tells Marta to leave and make note of the time. So when she leaves and walks past Walt, she's like, oh, can't believe it's 12 already. Drives, turns off, runs back into the house, and the dogs know her, so they wouldn't bark at her. Well, she climbs up the side of the house, and there's a really cool shot of her coming in through a secret, hidden window in the house.
it's so characteristic to like a murder mystery like Clue and Agatha Christie. I love that. I love that addition.
Yeah, and the painting on the fake wall hiding the window is of a little boy climbing through the window.
It's
and then
so
she
awesome.
pushes it open and she's just recreating that herself.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot.
It's really cool.
But yeah, and then she goes up the stairs. Or no, she comes in, goes into Harlan's room, puts on Harlan's clothes, and then comes down, makes sure someone sees her in Harlan's clothes, and Walt sends him back up, and that puts Marta not at the house at all during Harlan's time of death. So she's not even a suspect. But yeah, then Marta, after all that, she comes down the house again, and then we see Harlan's mom, and what does Harlan's mom say?
Ransom? You back again?
Yes. And then Hunter, that was so good. But then we cut back to Benoit talking to Marta, and
Yes.
yeah, and then that's where the immigrant, when they're at the birthday party.
Yep,
and
when the flashback comes out.
Which
Yeah.
we already talked about.
Honestly, this movie, going back to those flashbacks, it's really good at communicating POV from different characters and how situations look to one person or another, for sure.
The way it was shot, I have a fun fact. Jamie Lee Curtis's character obviously has the big glasses.
Yeah, Linda.
Yes, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
And we're obviously on a movie set that's lit up with lights. There's gonna be reflections, so all the lights on set were disguised to look like windows. So in the reflection of her glasses, they look like windows and not lights for filming purposes. Isn't that clever?
I'm finally grateful to have you as my co-host now.
Finally, yay!
You're let back into the circle. Really good fact. Did you ever believe the family members when they said they wanted Marta at the funeral and were outvoted? There were a couple that mentioned that.
I was confused.
Linda?
Yeah, so Marta was not at.
Nope.
So who was voting no?
Probably most of them, and they were just lying straight to her face. Because
like three of them say that.
Linda said it. Meg probably did not vote no.
She seemed like she really liked Marta.
Yeah. Even though she had her faults too, I do feel like she was actually on Marta's side in the family.
Yeah.
And then I think Walt also mentioned something.
Yeah.
And Richard. Almost everybody. Jeez. Now, we get such an interesting perspective in the story with Blanc asking Marta to investigate with him and help. Basically, be his Watson to his Sherlock. The blood spatter on Marta's white shoes.
The one single drop.
Did you think that one single drop would come back?
Had to. Nothing's in the movie for no reason.
And that's exactly why I love this movie.
Yeah.
I will touch on that again. Marta's now with Blanc investigating, and they head to the security tape house. Michael Emmett Walsh, the actor, running it as the security guard or whoever he is. It's amazing. He's super old. Unfortunately, he did pass away, but he was in so many things that I enjoyed with my wife, like Christmas with the Cranks especially.
Oh, yeah. He was the shitty neighbor across the street.
You want to know what his name was in Christmas with the Cranks?
What was it again?
Walt.
Oh
Yeah, which is pretty cool, actually.
I fucking love Christmas with the Cranks.
We just rewatched. Hey, be on the lookout for it, guys. Wink, wink. And Marta ruins the tape, thankfully, because she messed up the turn with her car that night.
That reminds me of one of my favorite movies that Ryan showed me called Be Kind, Rewind. And it has Jack Black from 2008. And Jack Black falls into like a vat of some sort, and he becomes magnetized, like with radiation, like he becomes like magnetized, and his friend is like manning a video store for his boss.
Is this a superhero origin or what's going on? Okay.
And he goes in, so he's basically a big magnet, and he goes into a video store with all VHS tapes and destroys all the VHS tapes.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Because he's a big magnet. And so before their boss comes back, him and his friend that is manning the store, I cannot pronounce his name in real life, but they just like take these movies, like there's like Rush Hour, Ghostbusters, like just random movies, and they like shittily recreate them and re-record them and put them back on the shelf. And it is such a good movie, and it's so like heartfelt and amazing, and everyone needs to go watch Be Kind, Rewind from 2008.
Ashlee, why did you give me yet another frickin' movie that I'm probably gonna deep dive? I hate you sometimes.
It's so good. But yeah, when Marta takes the magnet from that guy's fridge and messes up the tape, that is exactly what I thought of.
Oh, amazing.
And also, Trooper
Wagner.
When they were playing the tape and he was like, looks like a Japanese horror film. Are we all going to die in 7 days?
I know, The Ring.
Yes.
Oh, when he mentions his lines, that character can feel forced in a lot of different movies. This one, his lines were very well placed, I felt.
I thought he was hilarious throughout.
Yes, yeah, like it would just come very randomly when you needed it most, I felt. And like that's the correct way to use a character like that instead of forcing it so hard. Oh, she's lying. Oh, that means she's lying.
Yes.
You know,
his commentary was just great.
Yeah, it was just, and him being a big fan of Harlan's work, and also a big fan of Benoit Blanc's work. Like, he was just such a little fanboy as well. He was like you and I if we were on a movie set and trying to act professional while trying to pod and get the word out to everybody. No, we'd be just shitting ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, literally.
Right. We're normal guys. To make things all the better, Marta kills it with Blanc and the detectives on the trail, finding the piece of siding and playing it very cool that she accidentally like knocked off when she was climbing. She's the best. Ransom, Chris Evans, finally shows up. Do you have a previous relationship with Chris Evans?
Yes, actually, he's in one of the most hilarious movies, his acting debut, and Not Another Teen Movie.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe that's his first movie. He went from that to everything else he's done.
Captain America.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've never seen.
Oh, you should.
Scott Pilgrim.
I think you'd fall in love with him. But,
That's my auntie Vernetta. That is like her guy crush for life.
Oh my God.
Not Another Teen Movie, that was so good.
Well, I mean, it's not my favorite like comedy like that, but I can watch it. I enjoy it for what it is. I think I probably missed it. Like, I grew up watching the scary movies.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Epic Movie. Those are my like spoof movies.
Yeah. Did you ever watch a date movie?
With them. Date movie? Oh, that was mixed in. I feel like I only watched it once though.
Since you love rom-coms, that's the one that makes fun of. And the main storyline is Meet the Parents.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, I should get Nell on that then too, because she showed me the Meet the Parents trilogy. So, oh my God, that's amazing. And if you guys couldn't tell, both Ashlee and I are still dealing with colds, so we might sound a little sinusy.
We've been sick for like a while.
Yeah, that is exactly why we haven't gotten a lot of content out. Like, this part of the year hits us hard, it seems. So, yeah, really apologize if our voices don't sound up to par. My previous relationship with Chris Evans is obviously, actually, first time I saw him was Fantastic Four.
I was going to mention that.
As Human Torch.
But I watched Dawn of the movie more, so that's my...
So that's why, obviously, a person like me or anybody else that has that previous relationship with Chris Evans blew up at Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
Spoilers. Sorry, guys. It's been all over the internet already. But, yeah, no, it was amazing. That meant a lot to me. Nostalgia. Definitely took place, guys. I won't lie. But also Chris Evans, yes, very familiar with him being Captain America. He really embodied that character so well. He took that so seriously. And the path he's taking now after that, that's what makes me respect him more as an actor. He's picking very good projects. He's showing more of his range. Even as Captain America, I could see him kind of wavering away from just playing the plain old Jane, follow the rules type of dude. It was a really nice arc in the MCU compared to other characters. I know I'm sounding a bit nerdy with that, but honestly, one of the best characters I've seen. But yeah, and I just love the guy. Walt's son points some blame towards Ransom with him yelling at Harlan, "I'm warning you," and it might be cutting him out of the will. Did you think that is what took place?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. I have it in my notes. Ransom out of will.
Yep. Me too. Eat shit. Eat shit. You can all eat shit.
I will not be eating one iota of shit.
Chris Evans, he kills it in this part. He is such an asshole. He's so good.
Michael Shannon ad-libbed that line.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
hilarious.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The thrill of Marta being so near the investigation and right by Blanc's side is the compelling part in this murder mystery, I'd say. One of them.
Okay, so next we get to the will reading.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we find out that Harlan left Marta everything. The family seem to love Marta and be on her good side, but as soon as they find that out, they all very quickly turn on her.
All their characteristics were
Yeah.
pointing towards this moment, honestly.
Even Meg kind of.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
Yep. Even Meg, her closest companion in that family, her confidant, you could say, maybe.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all their true colors showed, and they really just
This is still our house. The family is a flock of vultures, my God. And then it pauses. Oh, and the estate belongs to Marta Cabrera. Yeah. Oh, I loved that touch on it. So, and also some of the lines Jamie Lee's really come out in this part. Were you boinking my father? Stuff like that. It was just so great. Of course you're going to jump to kind of that thought or something like that. You're kind of, yeah, just so good. And the camera angle for Marta leaving the house after the announcement, it's pure chaos. The camera's just right up in her face and moving. And you see all these family members on the sides of her just talking at her. Marta escapes with Ransom. Ransom becomes such a charming character because it's Chris Evans, of course, and how he's standing up to these vicious people and, kind of making the comments of what we're all kind of thinking. He seems like a dick, but in an okay way, and he rescues Marta. Meg ends up calling Marta about renouncing the will. Then after Marta and Ransom's meal together and them going over everything, there are a couple of really good quotes, and the performances between Anna and Chris are very good in there. Blanc sit down with the grandmother. It's very sweet of him to think of consoling her when no one else has, most likely.
Sad.
That was her son that passed.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of left off to the wayside. And that's also, us as people also really have to keep that in mind, that might happen a lot in family gatherings, unfortunately. Not even just when a family member passes away, But like in get-togethers, the older people might just be sitting off to the side and like lonely and stuff. That's really sad.
Yeah, fucking go talk to them if you still have them.
I talk to my great grandma all the time. Like I love her. Yeah. Even Nell and I, like, oh my gosh, just some of the gossip she has about the others in the nursing home. Guys, I am gonna say a super embarrassing thing since we're on the subject, but me, as a human being, knowing my vocabulary and knowing the meaning of things, I accidentally have told people that nursing homes are funeral homes. I've referred to them as funeral homes instead of nursing homes.
Well, I mean,
I feel terrible.
you're not wrong.
I've felt like an idiot.
You've definitely said dumber things.
You're so freaking nice. So now we get to another big part. The crime lab is burnt down, which adds even more danger, along with Marta being sent blackmail. This being connected and all adds more mystery to what happened with Harlan's death and Marta being involved. Really nice addition to an already compelling story. After being noticed at the crime lab by the detectives, one of the worst car chases occurs with Marta and Ransom.
Lakeith says, dumbest car chase he's ever seen.
That is where I highlight Lakeith. You highlighted him before I did, but like, yeah, I wanted to touch on him, of course. Like, I love that man. Ooh, especially from Get Out as well. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
That is where I was like, who is this guy? After Death Note, I was really compelled with him there. And then I was like, okay,
yeah,
who is this guy?
I love him. I totally forgot he was even in this. So, and he's in the whole thing throughout.
Oh, he is.
So
yeah,
which
like, is amazing.
Yes.
It's just such a stacked cast in this. And they're all used well.
And then Ransom calls her baby driver.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh, one of my favorites. Hell yeah. So, Marta is being blackmailed by an anonymous letter found in her mail after Walt tries to intimidate her. Like I said earlier, Shannon's very good at being intimidating, even though Walt is a fucking loser. This leads to Marta finding
Fran. Leads to Marta finding Fran at the laundromat, which Ransom told her that she would be meeting someone there. And what is she? She's ODing, right?
Yes. So like Marta finds a vial of
morphine.
And yeah, she's been injected with a dangerous amount. And there's a fun aspect to this murder mystery, like Clue, but this with Fran shows the danger or dark little things to Knives Out a little bit. So yeah, really, really fun thing to add into this mystery, like another dark thing, Marta stumbling on Fran. Marta's undoing with Blanc and the investigation finally catching up is all because she was a good person trying to save Fran, knowing the consequences she'd face with the detective's eyes on Marta now. Fuck. That sucks. She tried saving this person's life even though she knew what would happen. That's a good person right there. And then you're kind of wondering in the story, like, okay, what's going to happen now that Blanc found her out, basically? And it's all like, yeah, I accidentally killed him, you know? Marta telling Blanc everything is such a human thing to do, and it really cements her as one of the greatest protagonists I've seen on screen. The lousy detective and the lousy suspect are now left to pick up the remaining pieces together. When they arrive back at the Thrombey estate with Marta, about to hand over the inheritance back to the family, due to the Slayer rule, right before she does, Blanc stops her in incredible fashion and sticks it to the Thrombeys after seeing the toxicology report results. Did you ever think Marta was going to renounce the inheritance in front of the family?
No. Well, Yeah, just because she's a good person.
Yes.
But for the movie's sake, I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Right. Like, what else can happen in this plot
Yeah.
to carry us through this ending, right? Yeah, no.
So that was so nice of Blanc to come save her before she did that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, right at the right time. The donut hole within the donut hole. It's a very nice metaphor for, like, how this mystery plays out, with the final missing piece being Ransom. The hole within a hole.
I was thinking of donut hole or the donut on Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh my God. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I think like the donut thing all started with Knives Out. Knives Out has it before Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I think
for
The
me.
Simpsons does, but
Oh damn! I never watched The Simpsons.
me neither at all. I played Simpsons Hit and Run. That was it.
Fake fan. Okay.
And not even a fan.
True. Fair. Guys, I can't even hit her with it.
But yeah, then we get to Blanc sitting in front of the knives, which is an alternate poster of the cover art.
So yeah, I already did like basically say that Ransom is revealed. Shit.
No, we can go from there.
Okay, good. Okay. What I love about the reveal of Ransom being behind switching the vials of meds and Harlan's suicide, meaning Marta actually did her job and gave him the correct meds, is that it wasn't all Blanc's doing, unveiling him, but Marta's lie about Fran still being alive sealed it all. Marta still had a part to play in that unveiling. Cherry on top, Marta yakking all over his face.
That looked disgustingly realistic.
That was gross throw up.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was like too real for my liking.
Are there like Fruit Loops in there or some shit? Sorry for making you think about that. Reveals, when done the right way and well executed, they scratch my brain and my heart. Does that make sense?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
What scratches your brain? Oh shit, guys, I just put her on the spot again.
Wait, you need you to clarify. Because I know what you mean.
A very satisfying thing happening, whether it's seeing it, sound, anything. Does that make sense?
In movie?
Yeah, let's stick with... No, anything. Okay. We're talking about ourselves. Anything.
You put me on the spot. Give me a second.
That's why I was saying anything. So
give me a second to think.
Fuck.
Give me a second to think.
No, you're good.
Because there's so many things that does.
I know. I actually did. I just thought it'd be fun to ask you.
A weird thing that I like is when movies don't have happy endings. Because they're rare. I like bleak endings. That always scratches my brain.
So you're a depressive person.
No. It's just so different from other...
You're nihilistic.
Yes, sometimes.
Yeah.
That was just the first thing that I could think of. That's satisfying.
God dang. No, actually, like, that connects with me a little bit. Even though I'm a super positive person, I do enjoy when stories don't end happily, because with movies, you want to escape realism. So, in real life, you're hoping for a happy ending all the time, and you strive for it, right? When it's just not possible, it really hits you, and I love to feel things.
Yeah.
So that makes you feel quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the most powerful feelings, an ending. So when it doesn't end well, it hits you.
I'm going to go home and watch Killing Ground. Just kidding.
Guys, I just watched that the other day, and that is it's an awesome movie. Really good. It's another movie from Damien Power. It features Michael Fassbender, one of my favorite actors, but it's a very personal type of survival thriller.
Yeah. Except they don't survive.
And Damien Power has a way of making it seem like a very intense actual situation, and you don't know where it's going to go in each one of his movies. Killing Ground, and if you guys are familiar with No Exit on Hulu, very good winter little cozy claustrophobic thriller where people are stuck together. That's all I'll say. But yeah, Ashlee's going to go to bed depressed.
What's new? Just kidding. Just kidding.
Same girl. This is the start. Oh my God. Well, you answered what scratched your brain. I didn't even answer. One thing that scratches my brain, like I have just witnessed with the movie Wicked, catchy notes and songs really scratch my brain. And there is one popular song in Wicked that really scratches my brain for some reason.
Is it the ending song?
No, it's not Defying Gravity. And hey, you Wicked fans, maybe you'll be able to pick it out. This is the start of me taking Chris Evans seriously as a villainous person. This guy has range and shocked the hell out of me with this turn after viewing him as Captain America and Johnny Storm for so long. I'm so happy he's popping up in the right places like Knives Out. Must be the Boston in him that unleashes this assholishness, because he is from that area and he does have that accent and it really comes out of him sometimes. It's interesting.
Okay, Patrick Dempsey.
Listen to some interviews, actually. He's yep.
The similarities between those two movies is kind of crazy now that we're talking about it.
It's really cool. Yeah, that we're following this up after Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's really nice. Fran's alive. So sinister. Like, what a sinister line for him.
Yeah.
The way he delivers it. And I do see his little tics and kind of his emotions and his facial expressions, if I can say, as Captain America as well. Like, I kind of see Steve Rogers in him. So when I see like this villainous turn, it's like, it's in such a good way that it's like bothering me.
Yeah.
Benoit Blanc's line, and how Craig delivers, "You knew because you are a good nurse." And Anna's reaction with tears welling, it hits me every time. It gives me chills. And I actually did tear up last night watching.
I did too.
Right? Like, it's just, you're highlighting how good of a character this is and how good of a human they are. And we all strive to be that, right? You know,
Well.
so it's, well, you're lost. But, so yeah, especially with how our world is right now and how people are to each other, it's really refreshing seeing a genuine person being plopped in a big movie like this, right? I'm also thankful to Knives Out and Rian Johnson for propelling Anna up there. I'm seriously rooting for her and crushing on her daily. I'm really sorry to my wife there. You made the help call you Hugh because you're an asshole. Oh, man. So hilarious. Delivered from Marta right there. And very sexy how she says it in her Cuban accent, gotta say. The way that Ransom attempted stabbing Marta, like how it's filmed, so stunning. The way the sequence plays out, slow motion, camera angles, music, the character reactions, it's all on point.
And that was foreshadowed earlier when Harlan was talking to Marta and they were talking about Ransom. And he was saying Ransom likes to live life like a game with no consequences, to the point where they can't even tell a prop knife from a real knife.
I am a sucker for foreshadowing, and you just itched my brain right there by saying that. Like, I had no idea, actually. After rewatching it, geez, this was probably my 8th time, maybe.
And you know, I'm not good at picking up foreshadowing, but that's like the one thing that
That's amazing, though. Yeah, like we were talking about the details in the script. Like, Rian Johnson was very good at writing this. I really appreciate a writer-director.
Same.
Right?
Same.
It feels like they have more complete control over it, the story and how it's presented to us. This story, it makes sense and it's so entertaining with the twists and turns, especially throwing in Fran blackmailing Ransom. It throws you for a loop. Then we learn Blanc is one of the best and had Marta in mind the whole time, knowing she played a huge part and wasn't even the murderer. First time seeing her, seeing the spot of blood, like so happy that comes back around and it's not forgotten about. I think a lesser movie maybe would have left that.
I think there's 0 loose ends in this movie.
I don't think so at all. Everything was tied up so nicely. Like this story scratches my brain.
Seriously.
Actually.
Like,
it's amazing. Saddest thing about this all, Harlan could have lived and he actually killed himself. That's crushing.
That is really sad.
Especially when Marta realizes it too. She did all she could. And how long did she go on believing an untrue thing that like she was the cause of his death? Jesus Christ.
A week and a half.
Still.
That's all.
How would that eat you? I think
Yeah.
I would go a week and a half without no sleep.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, like.
And she's so nice. Like, that probably like was destroying her. We could tell by the way she looked in the beginning.
I love my girl Anna. I love her. Put her in more stuff, please.
But yeah, so then we cut to, it's kind of going around the family and what they're doing. And another thing that's tied together is Linda, Jamie Lee Curtis's character, goes into Harlan's study to put the baseball bat that Richard grabbed earlier, put it back, and sees the letter that Harlan left her. And that their way of communicating with invisible ink. And so in a way, since Richard grabbed the baseball in the first place and threw it, he kind of like, what's the word? Like caused his own demise.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Kinda, like inadvertently?
Yes.
If that's how you, yeah.
That's the good word. Since he's the one that, like, the baseball was because of him, and she put it back and saw the letter, and if it wasn't for him moving the baseball in the first place, she probably wouldn't have found the letter.
I love how she was looking at it in one scene too before this.
Yeah.
Like it's just like we were talking about, no loose ends. And in the story too, like Ryan didn't need to add that little personal family thing, like how they communicated with each other, the invisible ink and stuff. But what a nice detail for that to come back around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everything.
Mm-hmm. Everything. Starting from Blanc uncovering the mystery and going through the motions right up until the end of the film. It's perfection. End shot of Marta with the coffee mug looking down on the Thrombeys.
And then the only words that are showing on her cup is "my house."
Yup. It was my house, my rules, my coffee.
Yeah.
Loved. What a awesome shot. And it's just such a simple one too. It doesn't linger.
And that mug was the
Boom.
second shot of the movie in the beginning.
Yep.
And ends with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that.
Yeah. It's just really nice when bad characters get their comeuppance and the good character gets a happy ending, even though one of the good characters did not, unfortunately. But
well, Fran was good too.
Yeah, she was good.
She
Unfortunately, she took the wrong route by trying to blackmail Ransom instead of just going right to the police. But
true.
Yes.
You're right. She deserved to die.
Okay, we're not jumping to that shit. Well, Ashlee's going to bed depressed and being glad Fran's dead.
Oh my God.
What location are you hoping the third Knives Out Wake Up Dead Man will be set now that we've had the northeastern countryside in the fall and a summer vacation in Greece in Glass Onion?
The mountains.
Fuck, you took my answer.
Well, you should answer it first then.
Why do I ask you questions?
Because we have the same answers.
Guys should have seen the look she gave me. Sure. Yeah. No.
Okay, what's your secondary one?
I'm a whore for the mountains, though. God, like a nice little lake. Ooh. A nice, rich cabin. Like a huge cabin.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Nice cabin in the middle of the woods or something. And like you got like a lake nearby that you can do lake activities and
that'd be great.
I'm already thinking. Okay. That's a really good question because like you can kind of think of I think of locations for this franchise like I think of for the White Lotus a little bit.
I was gonna bring that
kind
up.
of destinations to go to. So I'm trying to think of something very different.
The Philippines.
Well, unfortunately, that's where White Lotus
I
is
know.
going. They're going to Thailand,
Yeah.
I think, for this next adventure.
God, I can't wait for that.
I cannot wait for another season of White Lotus.
Space.
Please, no.
Benoit Blanc goes to space.
The unfortunate thing about the Knives Out franchise as well that I was going to add to, like, since you mentioned space, I think about, like, just big franchises that the studios have taken over. Fast and Furious. Frick that franchise, sorry. I've never really liked it. I will, like, I'm not being a hater right now, guys. I just do not. Yeah.
I like the first three.
Yeah. Okay, first one, I used to rewatch Too Fast, Too Furious a lot because it was one of the only movies on my iPod Classic that I could watch. But one of the unfortunate things about the Knives Out franchise is that Ryan made a deal with Netflix and Glass Onion went to Netflix instead of just strictly theaters like Knives Out. So that makes me kind of sad. And I'm kind of nervous for the future of it because of that. But just hopefully same scale, shot well. Like, please, Ryan, have most control over it.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's on par with this one and Glass Onion, he can make as many Glass Onions.
Exact. I know. I love this. Keep it going. This is a better franchise than the Death on the Nile franchise that is trying to also adapt Agatha Christie. But yeah, maybe more of an Arctic.
That would be cool too.
More snow. It doesn't need to be up in Antarctica or anything. Just like maybe do it like northern Canada, something like that. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking, like a ski lodge is where I got mountains.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we can kind of fit that in with snow. There we go. Let's do that. Okay. Hey, Ryan Johnson, if you're listening, do you have anything else on Knives Out?
No, not that I can think of. I thought that Glass Onion was funnier.
Funnier?
Yeah. Had a lot more humor.
I felt like the story of Knives Out was better, but a lot to like about Glass Onion. It's just, I don't know. Thankfully, it didn't feel like such a retread.
Yeah.
They are their own characters, so it really depends on what you like more.
Did you see the cast for the third Knives Out?
Wake Up Dead Man. Oh, I saw a couple, and that's why I said I'm hoping like that it's a huge stack cast.
Did you see who the top build is right now?
Who's that?
Kaylee Spaney.
Fuck yes.
The cast list for that
Alien Romulus, Civil War. It's Kaylee Spaney time, guys. Let's go.
The cast list for the third one is insane.
Oh, I can't wait.
I almost wish I didn't. I'm not going to look at the cast list again until it comes out, so I'm going to be pleasantly surprised by all the people that I see.
I'll do that too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look it up. Yeah, no, I don't care. It's kind of like how we don't watch trailers anymore. Yeah, super excited for the third one. And Ryan Johnson, like, I'm just happy with what he's doing. We need more classic murder mystery types because I feel like it's just reverted to slashers now and we don't have those classic murder mysteries, or you have those procedural investigation like Law and Order, stuff like that. You know?
If we get a ensemble cast, like high up there, like a really good cast every couple of years and a good whodunit,
why not?
I'd be thrilled.
Exactly.
There's how many like Agatha Christie books?
Yes, and just take your time and care with them.
Yeah.
She's such a good author. Why do you think people gravitate towards her stories? Just do it well. Like, Death on the Nile was so disappointing to me.
I liked Murder on the Orient Express.
I did too.
I didn't watch Death on the Nile, though.
Do you have a problem with effects,
I'm not watching it.
scenery, anything?
Just by the way you're asking, I'm not going to watch it.
It seriously looks like they filmed it all in a dome. It
Mm.
doesn't look like they're in Egypt at all whatsoever. Yeah, all I can say is some of the performances were good.
Nah.
Twist at the end, that was decent too. But no, everything else, ugh. But yeah, I want more of this.
Same.
And this is such a staple for me. And I was really happy to do this like when it was 'tis the season, I felt, for us at least. I don't know, you guys in California or any warm areas are not going to feel it at all. But yeah, it felt really close to home right now. It was really nice. This feels like a general holiday movie. Wanted to put it out there. It's a very important movie to me, and that's probably why, I like talked a lot about it, and hopefully I got some points off my chest that I could.
I don't think I have anything else to add.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I got everything.
Should we move on to Reminds Me Of?
Yes, I think we just kind of talked about a couple of them, though.
We did, yeah, and I only have one because we did talk about the story a lot, and this is kind of like, it's tough to nail down to another movie, because it is a fun murder mystery, like, and it's very Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
You can't really replicate his personality, right? So I would say Clue from 1985. I've only seen it once. I need to rewatch it, but I do remember just really enjoying it. And my grandparents showed it to me as a kid after we played it for a game night. And they thought it'd be so fun to show my sister and I, like, oh, what were we playing? And yeah, just so fun. And the plot, the characters, the motives, the relationships, everything in it, they do feel almost one-to-one with this, and it's a goofy tone and lively characters, just very individualized. So I think Clue really resembles this.
They should remake Clue with the new cast.
They probably could. Well, that's the thing. Like, this feels like a new Clue. That's why I put it down.
Well, I want a new Clue.
Give Ashlee a new Clue. Listen, Hollywood.
Get a Clue with Lindsay Lohan.
She's coming back.
I know.
She's on a comeback, guys. Netflix
Netflix holiday movies specifically.
Right? Yeah.
And Freaky Friday 2 is coming out.
Ooh, yeah. Actually, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
I'm looking forward to that.
But anyways.
Any other reminds you of?
Not really. Not like this kind of like.
Yeah. We kind of touched on some
I was
throughout.
going to say bodies, but that's not the type of whodunit that this is.
Man. No, I have a double feature in my head for, you know what it is too. Bodies, it's what's inside.
Oh, duh.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy double
God,
feature.
those are so fun.
Which is better?
It's what's inside.
Thank you.
For sure.
I agree. All right. So, yeah. That's all for Reminds Me Of. Sorry we don't have a lot for you guys, but we kind of, touched on it throughout. It came up naturally. And so now we'll move on to Where to Watch. This is available to rent on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, YouTube, Fandango, and etc.
Or you should go buy the 4K.
Which, that's how I watch.
Same.
Yeah, so sorry, guys. This is not on streamer. It's actually surprising because I'm pretty sure it was on Netflix for a long-ass time. And of course, when we finally pick it, it goes off a streamer. Typical. Rent it, though, guys. It's worth it. Lastly, make sure to follow us on socials on TikTok and Instagram at Hazardous Opinions Pod. Join us on Discord and follow our individual accounts on Letterboxd. All of the links will be in the episode description for you guys. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at hazardousopinionspod@gmail.com. Also, if we could have you guys follow and rate us wherever you get your listening today. It helps out a ton. We appreciate your support, and thank you so much for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.